I'll just start off with how the process for GDPI MSc Finance looks like, and then we'll start when everyone is in. So, so basically for MHRD, there are around 30 students per intake. Obviously, Maharashtra CET or CAT score is taken. Personal assessment has also some weightage. Personal assessment involves group activity, PI, and written ability test. Uh, For MSc Finance, it looks a little bit different. So you have three different kinds of weightages. One application rating, in-person assessment. I think the most important thing over here is after CET ka weightage, you have PI ka weightage, which is, constitutes for a big chunk of your score. And then there is your group assessment, and then there is your what. We'll discuss on that also later. But before starting this session, I just want to introduce Pranav and Charudat. Both of them are JBIMS alumni. Even I am. I am from M.M.S. One is from MSc Finance and one is from MHRD. I think this is the first time in a session that all of these three different batches of JBIMS students are together. And it's very, very random as well. I just reached out to
Correct.
Pranav and Charudat today itself, and both of them agreed to come on to the
Connect.
session. So this shows that JBIMS ka aura is, as true as it always should be. And so, yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. So, I'll introduce Charudat first. He is a 23 pass out from MHRD. He is a director's best student, outgoing student awardee as well. And he is at a really good position in a company. And his journey is really good. If you can just reach out to his LinkedIn and his also this YouTube channel which I shared today. If you go through that as well, you'll find a lot of helpful content which will help you in your GDPI preparation, etc. So do have a look at that. After that, we have Pranav Asani. Pranav Asani was same student, just like you guys. He was also attending this session last year, which we conducted, and he is in JBMS MSc Finance. We don't take credit for his achievement because this is something which he did on his himself. We just pushed him in the right direction, and that is what we are trying to do with you guys also. Uh, Converting JBIMS is completely a personal achievement, and you just need to have a right guidance so that you can work on the way and get to where you want to be. So with that initiative, Pranav Asani is here. He is again, I think, director's best outgoing awarded to be in the next couple of years, but he is in currently in MSc Finance batch of JBIMS, and really great to have both of them here. They are from different backgrounds as well. So yeah, I think I'll give a few seconds for each of you guys also to introduce about yourself. So Charudat, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Um, so yeah, first of all, thanks to Shreekanth and team for the top percentile. I mean, it's always great to help and be helpful for the aspirants of JBIMS. And yeah, it's the first time that MSc Finance, M.M.S, and MHRD are coming together. That's a great feat actually. And yeah, about me, I'll tell you more when we discuss the questions. But yeah, any questions if you have about GDPI, you can put it up in the chat box so that we can go through them, and then one by one, in the end, we can take them out.
Great. Pranav, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for this opportunity, Shrikant, and top percentile. Just excited to be here, and any queries that the students have, processes are starting from tomorrow. So really happy to be here, to mentor these students, especially being in the college right now. So I hope the perspectives that all three of us can provide will be greatly helpful to them. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely, definitely. So, okay. So I think we have enough people joined in as of now, so we can start. So again, a small idea about MHRD GDPI process. Again, Charudat, if you can add something on this.
Yeah, I think GDA is a very important part of the process, and they're not just trying to understand your HR knowledge, but they're also trying to see when you become a manager or when you get into an organization, how do you put forward your points? How do you ensure that you're not just sitting there idly, but also adding value to your company's discussion? And how are you taking inputs from others? Are you someone who is flexible in that ways? So that's the way how they judge you, assess you in your group activity. And yeah, in personal interview, I mean, the most important part wherein you tell your story, you ensure that you make them believe that you are the best fit for this course, and you also let them know that this is the best course for you. And of course, your background, whatever you have done so far, try to link it with HR. How does it help you in your journey? And how basically how this course is going to help you in your future, right? Your aim is not to get into JBIMS or MHRD. Your aim is to do good in life, to be a good leader, to be a good management of an organization. And this is just a way through it. So you need to put that story out there that this is how it's going to help you. And written ability test, I think it's a simple test wherein they usually ask a same question: how are you going to add value to this course, or why are you a best fit for this course? And again, like all your SOPs, have a long-term, short-term goal, have a little bit of your hobbies and interest areas, and how is this course going to help you in the long term? Is the basic idea of your SOP.
Perfect, perfect. So, general pointers, we can all work upon our, obviously, as Charudat mentioned, the PI part, the what part, and the group activity part. So, we'll continue with MSc Finance. Do you want to add anything, Pranav, or should we move ahead?
We can move ahead, and when the questions will come, we can answer them.
Perfect. So again, a general idea about how the in-person assessments are. So how what GA and PI experience is like. So I want Pranav and Charudat you to just give an idea about your what GDPI experience, how much time it was, how many words you wrote, and how it is generally looking like. Pranav, you can go first.
All right. So exactly 1 year before, my process, I was there in the process. So the memory is pretty fresh. So guys, for what, you will be given a generalized topic. There won't be anything very specific. I'm talking in perspective of MSc Finance. Okay. So you won't be given any particular finance topic or any, technical terms, which some people were worried about that, for an MSc Finance written ability test, we'll only get finance topics. That will not be the case, right? The general topics, current affairs, basic economies, social topics, these topics will only be provided to you for that. And with respect to the time, you will be given 10 minutes to write. And, the target should be to be near 300 words. Okay. So see, when you're given 10 minutes and you are in JB, you're already a bit anxious, you're a bit nervous in that environment and you want to give your best. So you cannot really count your words. Okay, so what you can do is you can practice a couple of generalized topics for that and see how much you can fit in one page, right? So you will definitely get an idea as to what your speed is and what thoughts you can articulate within the given time frame. So even though it is said that it's for 300 words, but anything 5%, near 300, so like near 285 or 310, any word limit is fine. If you count your word limits and only stress yourself to write 300 words, then you won't be able to write quality points. So the main aim of what is, when you're given a short time frame and if you're given a topic, the quality of the points that you can think of in that short time frame is what you're tested on.
Correct. And how was your group discussion experience?
So group discussion, again, I remember the topics were around, payments, the UPI interface, normal economy, we have the budget this year, so you can expect some topics around that as well. So, you'll be given around 15 to 20 minutes for a group discussion. And, you know, one thing which you need to make sure in a GD is that you don't come across as someone very aggressive. Okay. We had people in our GD who were practically shouting. So in GD, the most important thing is to be courteous and to maintain your calm. And while at the same time, you need to, put forward your point. Okay. In GD, I think Shreekanth sir and Charudhat sir will also agree with me that if you start the GD, there is definitely that eye on you, that in front of all 10, 12 people that are sitting with you in the GD with a short time frame, you're still able to start that GD. You have that awareness that after 60 seconds, you're taking that initiative and starting the GD. That definitely gives you that advantage. And last year, I luckily got the chance to start the GD. So that confidence that you get when you start a GD, it's definitely at a high when you're proceeding further. So that is my advice to all the aspirants, that you need to maintain your calm, maintain a straight posture. If someone gives a quality point, you need to, say that to that person as well. Yes, I agree with your point. Or, even if you want to counter, though, do it politely. Okay, and don't take anyone's names in a GD. That's one mistake I think people make, is to take names of the respective people that are with them in that GD. So I think these are the basic points. People cut off people very rudely. People try to assert their dominance in a GD. Never do that. Even if you have a couple of quality points in a GD, and if you use valid examples, if you use numbers, right? So
Yeah.
that's how you're, being noticed in a GD.
Yeah, perfect. And also, this is not a necessity, but yeah, as he mentioned, if you start the GD, it's great. But even if you don't, if you summarize it as well in a very good way, and if you are putting out counterpoints or points which are of uh, of a different discussion altogether, so that also highlights you that you're thinking in a different perspective. If you can change the perspective of the group, even if you start second, if you collect it in a much better way from the first person rather than starting on your own in your second statement, that also helps. So we'll discuss that in depth later. So again, and then there is a personal interview thing which would last for around 5 to 15 minutes. Charudat, would you want to give an idea about how the personal interview looks like? You're on mute.
I'm sorry. So yeah,
Yeah.
so personal interview is something, it's very specific to you. They want to understand your journey. They would want to know your whys. They want to know your strengths. And as a person, what kind of person are you? Are you someone who is ready to learn? Are you someone who's like, okay, even if I don't know something, I'll go back and learn. If you show that attitude, I think, yeah, attitude is something that they check a lot in HR and all these MBA interviews, because they have already tested your logical reasoning. They've already tested your English, mathematics. They know that you know a fair understanding of this. But at this stage, what they're trying to understand is your attitude, your willingness to learn, a basic understanding. Whether do you have a basic understanding of HR? Are you well aware of the latest trends in the field of HR? I mean, I'm being specific to HR, but similar would be for MSc Finance.
Correct.
So, right. So, are you aware of those things? And of course, they'll also ask you if you have work experience. They'll try to understand how did you work there. If when you came across some challenges at your work or in your life in general, what is your approach? So, I was working before I did this master's, and I have done another master's also. So I had a lot of questions on that. So why are you doing a double master's? Why are you? So what happened was, in my case, the average age of MBA in JBIMS is around 24, 25, but I was above that. So a question that they asked me is, since you're above the average age of all the students, and there may be a chance when the interviewer, when you go for placements, there might be a chance that he may be younger than I am, right? So in that scenario, how are you going to convince them? How will you work under a manager who's younger to you? So also look at those situation questions, basis your profile. They might have some questions.
Perfect, perfect. I think very briefly covered about you can expect anything But at the end of the day, they just check on your confidence. They check on your decisions. Whatever decisions you made, are you confident on it? So your confidence is generally being tested in a personal interview. Uh, there could be, n number of different ways how you introduce yourself to a person, and you just have to find the right way to introduce yourself. You just have to highlight the good points in your careers. Whatever decisions you're taking at the back of something, a technical proof for it. You've thought about it, diligently, and then took this decision. So all of those things are being checked. So we will definitely discuss on that later. Now I just want to go through frequently asked questions by a lot of MHRD aspirants. So these are the questions which, in the Google form as well as in the other forums also, a lot of students ask is ki, what are the tips for some interviews, GD topics, which topics to cover, what do interview look for in your resume, how to ace percentage, etc. So we will go question by question. We can, give you a brief answer as well, how to cover for this particular topic. So for first question, Pranav, if you want to start, can you give some tips for interview and GD, and which topics to cover in general?
Yeah, sure. I think we mentioned about, having the confidence and having that, personality, that aura in the interview. That is most important. That's what they see. You have to have a positive mindset and a positive energy around you, because the people who are going to take your interview, they are industry experts. They've taken many, many, many interviews before they've taken your interview. So I think maintaining that calmness and respecting that other person, right? It is very important when you enter the room, right? Need to first start with a polite greeting, and you need to sit confidently, answer all the questions, and like I think rightly mentioned, even if you don't know a topic, you can say something like, I'm not aware of it, but I'll certainly look into it later. So that shows that you're respecting that interviewer's question as well. So these are just some of the general things that you need to maintain in an interview.
If you would want to cover on which topics, for example, for GD, so I think if it is for MSc Finance, you will generally look for finance-oriented topics. At the same time, all the general current affairs topics are something which you should have an idea about. It's not necessary that you need to remember all the stats and statistics about the latest trends, etc. But even if you have a small idea about it, then it can go in a good way for you. uh, I would also, like take a couple of questions from here. So basically, what do interviewers look for in a resume is, see, resume is your basic details. So whatever you have done, whatever certifications you can provide for, is just a professional accolades or professional data of all of your life points, right? So you have done 10th, you have done 12th, you have done your graduation, what else you have done in your graduation, your extracurriculars, etc. So it just is a sheet of paper which gives an essence of what you are professionally, and what you have done in an extracurricular way. That's it. So they are looking for pointers which are quantifiable. So if you, for example, tell that you are working in a fest in your college, and you say that you are working in sponsorship, for example, so you have to mention ki what was the impact, how much sponsorship you bought in, etc. So try to look for points to quantify. I have a couple of draft resumes also with me. I will share that in the group. You can have a look at it. Pranav and Sharadat also, if they want, they can share their resume in general, and then you can have a look at it and make a similar sort of a resume for it. Secondly, there is a very important question which every aspirant fears nowadays, is that why JBIMS over test, or why JBIMS MSc Finance over M.M.S, or over IIM Ahmedabad, etc. whatever. So whenever someone is asking you a why JBIMS wala question, starting with why JBIMS, they just want to know what is your decision, why is your decision to join JB, what are you getting out of JB, and what can you bring in the table to give to JB. That is what they're looking for. So you can highlight important aspects of JB which will help you in your personal career growth. So for me, networking was one of the biggest answer which I generally connect with JBMS is because of the network. You can just it will help you in a long way in future. It is helping me right now as well. So networking is something which was important for me. You can highlight that. You can also highlight the fact that the industry knows JBIMS. So there is a status quo attached to the name, right? So people know you from this college, so they have a sense of respect for you. So that is also a personal status quo sort of a achievement, sort of a feeling which you get. So that is one of the reasons. It could be anything, right? So you just have to mention why JBIMS is better for you and how what you bring to the table once you come into the college. What are your qualities? Are you someone who is from a diverse background? Can you bring a different perspective to the college? Can you be very active in the group discussions and in all the discussions which are going on in the classroom? So they want to know, can you also bring something to the table? So you need to answer this question in this way. And then the personal interview wala part, and I think personal interview wala part and gap and education. So I'll just club these questions in one small answer. So a lot of students, right? Your tell me about yourself sets the tone for your entire interview. So you need to make sure that your tell me about yourself is your sales pitch. And what do you mean by sales pitch? So if you take me for example, I can introduce myself as my name is Shreekanth Merugu. I am from a town called Panvel. I did my schooling over there, and then I went for my 11th and 12th to Hyderabad. There I studied for 2 more years and then decided to go for engineering. I got admission into VJTI college where I studied civil engineering. Uh, then I decided to do 2 years of work in a tech startup, and then I decided to go for MBA in marketing. This is one way of introducing myself where I am giving all the important points, but this is not something which someone else would want to hear. If I give my if I give my intro in a different way, it could be like this. Okay, my name is Shreekanth Merugu. I'm from Mumbai. I've been really good at mathematics since my childhood, and that's why I wanted to go for IIT coaching, and that's why I went to Hyderabad 2 years prepare for it, and then ended up in Asia's third oldest college, VJTI, wherein I got the opportunity to explore a lot of different business aspects in cultural fests and in the technical fest which happen around the college. uh, Went through, was the joint general secretary of the entrepreneurship cell, conducted several events, uh, pursued my passion for entrepreneurship, and then decided to do a 2 years of work experience in an tech startup which connects my entrepreneurship wala thing. And then after 2 years of startup, I decided to work on my professional accolades and get an MBA degree, which could expand my network and also give me a good starting benchmark where I can go to a good leadership position quicker in my life. And that is when I decided to go for an MBA from JBIMS, and that is how I ended up here. So these are the two different ways you can introduce yourself, right? I can say that I'm a failure. I can say that I did civil engineering and worked in an edtech startup which has no relation altogether. I can say that why did I go to Hyderabad for 11th and 12th? I also had like 57 percentage in my graduation. I could have mentioned that also. So you have to cut out all the negative parts of your tell me about yourself, and you have to highlight all the important aspects which defines you. Why did you take these decisions, etc., etc. And if you see, if you do a simple exercise, you can figure out how to highlight your tell me about yourself. And the exercise is like this. So for every year of your life, right, from your 12th standard onwards, every year pick one instance which was a professional achievement or a personal achievement, and look for three learnings out of it, or look for three assistants in every year, and then three learnings each of out of that instance each. So for example, if I was a general secretary in college for a festival, then that is a professional achievement. And what did I learn out of it? Team building, leadership, communication, right? So I'll write it like this. So essay for your last 5 years at least, if you write three each for every 5 years, you'll be having 15 points. And for these 15 points, you will be having three each learning. So there will be 45 learnings and 15 points. These 45 learnings, right? You have to make sure that you do this assignment, because this will help you understand what all you have done in your life, and it will be in a sheet of paper in front of you, and just you can look at it, because you don't remember all of those things. You have to put it on paper, and then you will get how to what are your good points and how you highlight it. And for people, a lot of people asking about gap in the years of education, generally we feel that a gap is a very negative thing. So don't take it as a career gap, rather take it as a career transition, right? Or take it as a sabbatical. You took some time to decide where you wanted to go, took some time, decided to do something on your own. You took break and then did something. So highlight it in a positive way, rather than be afraid that you will be judged by someone else because you took a gap. Okay, nobody is going to judge you. If you present it in that way, they might. But if you present it in this way, like you were doing a career transition, okay, I did this XYZ, I was doing biological engineering, etc. But now I decided to go for finance because I learned more about finance in the last 6 months than I learned in the last 20 years of my life. So you can obviously mention how your career is transitioning into this, and that is how you answer the gap wala part and everything in your answer. A couple of finance related questions are also there. I like Pranav to continue on that. For MSc finance related specific questions, do you have any questions in your mind which you can explain to these people?
Yeah, definitely. So I think there's a question, transitioning from other backgrounds. So people are scared whether I'll be able to answer if I'm asked technical finance questions. First thing, you know, they will ask you questions regarding your resume first. They know you're coming here to learn finance. Okay. So if you're from, like it's written here, for example, from a biology background, right? They'll first test if you've done that correctly or not. Right. They'll ask you questions based on your resume, your graduation, work experience. They'll ask you questions regarding your extracurriculars, and then they'll see if they find anything finance in your resume, right? Anything about finance. So people from diverse backgrounds, what they can do is they can do a couple of free certifications in finance. If someone is into stock trading, engineers these days, they are great at coding. You can link Python with finance. So for engineers, that's a very big advantage. If you are from a quants background, then you can definitely expect questions, with regards to, uh, you can say that if someone trades, then they can ask you what's your best stock pick. Or if you've done a certification on corporate finance, they'll ask you basic questions like, what is corporate finance? And they'll ask you questions, why do you want to transition into finance after you've dedicated so many years of your life, in, for example, engineering? Because mostly, you'll have many engineers over there. So it is a quant heavy course. And if you're from a background in which you've already done quants, so you can use that as an answer, right? That I've done quants in engineering. That is one of my strong area points. In MSc Finance, we have many strong quant related subjects. You can also refer to the course structure as well. So if you're aware of that, the MSc Finance course structure, and if they ask you a question like what fascinates you in quants, what is that in MSc Finance, that you can relate with quants. So you can mention statistics, you can mention econometrics, right? You can mention such subjects which you can link with your past. Like Shreekanth sir mentioned, that always link things with your past with your current score, course that you want to pursue. So yeah, I think these are the questions that people can
Yeah.
expect regarding their resume, and technical questions regarding their background.
Perfect, perfect. So generally prepare about why, as Pranav mentioned, a few finance courses. And generally if you want to pick out a particular topic, just go through the MSc Finance ka website. There is a course structure over there, and they've mentioned all the topics, or all the subjects which they cover. Similarly, is for MHRD as well. They have a list of all the topics. You can go have a look at it, and then do a small research on it. Uh, Look for your area of interest, build some interest on it, and then learn about it, and then you can use it for an answer if you require. But again, you just have to show why you are interested in this course. Obviously, money is not the only motivating factor why anybody would want to join JBIMS. It's much more than that. Money is something which will follow. You are there to improve yourself as a person, and then you can mention all of those networking and other aspects which I mentioned. So next thing I wanted to cover is a VAT. Sorry, a VAT is the same thing. So in a VAT, how should your approach be looking like? And how should you particularly think about a topic, and what kind of an approach there should be. So Charudat or Pranav, any one of you want to take this? If one can take this, then other can take the structure wala part.
Sharada, you please start with the topic.
Okay. Um, Shrikant, before we go, I just wanted to add one thing in the GD part for
Yeah,
MHRD. So
yeah,
the thing is, it is very difficult to guess what kind of questions or what kind of topics you'll get for GD. But one easy approach, not easy, but a good approach for preparing for GD for MHRD would be look at all the verticals in the field of HR. So there is learning and development, there is training, there's talent acquisition, comp and bend, DEI, all of that. Try to understand all the verticals first, then look at the best practices happening in the across the industry, right? So if suppose, for example, in IT, there are these best practices. What are the new trends that are being used? What are the technologies being used in that domain? I think that those points will help you in the GD to answer in GD. And also look at the so there's this great website called ETHR World, right? Wherein you get a lot of content from the top CHROs. What are they doing for the company? What is the next plan for next 2-3 years? So that ways, I think GD mein, your knowledge is very, it adds on to your GD vibe, right? So if you are able to bring in what's happening in the industry, and if you're trying to, and if you're able to relate it with the topic, then I think that is a great way to go ahead. So yeah, about GD, that is how you can take up.
yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, and for WAT and SOP generally, uh, can you please rename the website is ETHR World. Okay. So yeah, someone asked in the GD. So what are the panelists looking for in WAT? For SOP, I'll focus on MHRD part. So they're just trying to understand your purpose again. Why do you want to get into it? They need clarity, thought clarity that, okay, this is what I've done in my life. And now if I want to take the next level in my life, if I want to go to the next level, these are the things that I want to do. And that is why I think MHRD or getting into JBIMS would really help me. And also try to, relate your life, whatever you have done so far, if you could directly or indirectly relate to the course that you want to get into. What if you have some hobbies or interest areas related to HR or finance, uh, ensure that you put in there. And then, yeah, have a proper flow. So that is, you start off with your background. So it could be educational or geographical background. Then you talk a little bit about your what you did in your graduation, what were your hobbies and what were your extracurriculars, and then you look at the short-term, long-term goals. So usually that is the flow for your SOP. For finance, if you would want to add something, please go ahead.
Yeah, Pranav, so if you want to add something on the finance part, how the VAT approach should generally look like.
See, for finance, you'll just be given a vague topic. It's not like you can prepare for it and come. Like an SOP, finance, MSc Finance doesn't have SOP. They'll just give you a random topic, and they'll tell you to start. They'll give you 10 minutes and they'll tell you to start writing. I think I'll give a structure as to how you can approach the what topics in finance. So if I just give an example of education, if your topic is education, your first approach should be to define the topic, right? That should be your very first approach, what education is. Then in your second paragraph, you can talk about the pros of education, the advantages of education, right? Then after you're done with explaining and talking about the advantages, then you can mention an incident, a personal life incident, or a breaking, event that changed the landscape of the topic that you're talking about. Like COVID-19 completely changed the way we look at education. Like we are having this session right now. We would not have imagined such frequent online sessions if we did not have COVID. So that is how I think you should structure your VAT, by introducing, talking about the topic, and then using a relevant example that completely highlights your thoughts into your essay.
Yeah, that actually completely covers how your VAT approach should be. And again, if you are thinking about any topic, right, you can obviously use a pestle methodology also. If you are, putting some points about uh, some abstract topic is given, and you just can't figure out, what to generally talk about this topic, you can then think about that topic in the manner of a political way, in an economic way, social place, in a technological way, environmental, legal. And then there are pros and cons again, as Pranav and others mentioned. So your clarity of thought, your structure, approach, and the content which you are writing is what matters. And it should be, crisp and concise as well. It shouldn't be a random essay. So how to structure that also, we have a small slide for you which will help you in understanding how you can structure it. So generally you can have a small intro about the topic, right, with a single statement, giving some data point if you have, give an overview of, a bird eye view, sort of a idea about the topic, then set the context, 3 4 ideas which you can explore. You can take the pestle example. uh, Also you can create a curiosity about what you are going to, end it, in terms of your conclusion. Can give a hint, sort of, to what you're going to speak about in the next passage. And then your information and your opinions. What are your opinions on the ideas which you discussed above? How will that bring some impact? And then you can conclude it by uh, making it in a positive note, or how it affects it in a bigger picture, like in the scale of India, and scale of world, or in the scale of economy, etc. So generally this is how you structure. You can take a screenshot of this, or I can, just put this PPT in the group. You can go through it again. And there is a small mock topic also which I have made, and a small sample answer also about how the topic should be. I will be putting this slides in the group. And apart from this, a lot of people have asked about GD topics and questions, etc. So I have a list of questions which were asked for MSc Finance last year, and a list of GD topics, etc. So just a general sense, may I can just give out those questions if you want, or give out those GD topics if you want to cover those. You can do those. Um, Apart from that, I think we'll open the floor for questions. So anyone has any kind of questions, I'll just request you to raise your hand, and then I'll ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your question, and we will try to help you. So Saurabh, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, Shreekanth. Hi.
Hi.
I have completed my graduation in the year 2020, and post that I worked 2 years in analytics consulting. And
Okay.
post that I took a gap to prepare for the GMAT. So now my GMAT score is around 710. From March to December, I took a gap to prepare for the GMAT. And post that I applied to few colleges. So we'll cut it in a short. And I got into few colleges, but in for MSc Finance. But I didn't choose to go there. But in January, I started doing the masters in Master of Science in Computer Science. So
Okay.
yeah, so this course is going on for 8 to 10 months, and I'm getting master's MS in computer science. So how can I explain them this long story and my transition from computer science to finance? I'm thinking of fintech angle, but whether this story will get succeeded, because in JBMS I saw the very less placements are there for fintech, and maybe not there are not placement for fintech. Mostly placements are in investment banking or corporate finance and all those things.
Shreekanth, I will take
Yeah.
this question.
Yeah.
Hi, Saurabh. We have many engineers from this background who come to MSc Finance, right? So how you can structure your story is, since you're from that CS background, you are very strong in quants, right? And most of the subjects in MSc Finance are very much quants oriented, right? And you will need to use softwares in some of those subjects, right? So like how Shreekanth mentioned and like how I mentioned, you go through the MSc Finance course structure, link your story to the subjects that are there in MSc Finance, right? And then structure your points. You can mention that, since you've done your bachelor's in this field, you had an interest in quants and you had an inclination towards finance, right? So that is the reason why you're here to pursue a master in science, a course, rather than pursuing an MBA course. You're here to pursue a course which is, very rigorous in quants, and it also, is appeals to you because there's a hint of finance in there as well. So that is how I think you can structure your story.
Okay. And another thing, will my showing my GMAT score will help to the panelist or
No. Don't mention. See, if you mention that you've got a good score in GMAT, you can be asked questions like, why are you here? You can apply to this college, that college, through your GMAT score. Then, rather than talking about your skills, rather than talking about your merit, you will be trying to defend yourself all interview, right? If you've done something good in your extracurriculars, if you've done something good, in your engineering, if you have good scores, those things will not be talked about. Then you will just completely defend yourself for the entire interview. So I would suggest you don't
Yeah.
mention that.
Yeah, I see.
okay.
GMAT score, even if you want to mention, the point that will come out of it is that you're analytically very good. So that you can justify with your CET score or your any other score in your 10th, 12th, right? So you necessarily don't have to show it as an achievement because it speaks the same thing what your CET score speaks. So I think not necessary to mention it.
Actually, my backgrounds are not that quite great, so that's why I thought that instead of this, I should go about this, like showing GMAT score. And but yeah, I got the idea.
See, generally, whenever you're mentioning yourself to someone, start from today itself that don't mention it that your background is bad. Rather mention that your background is very diverse. You tried a lot of different things and then you decided to go on this thing. So in
Mhm.
a way, an interviewer could think that you have thought of it more in a much deeper way than someone else would have thought of it, right? So it puts you in a better position. So always think about putting yourself in a better position for the decisions you have taken and not take a step back and fear about it. I think a lot of people have this doubt. A lot of people have different backs or gaps in their career. Nobody is doing it in the perfect way, and it's not a standard that everybody does it in a perfect way also. Just to give you an example, if you just look at the profiles of a lot of CEOs on LinkedIn, you will see that a lot of people have started their positions in a different way, in a different domain, and every CEO has taken a different number of years to become a CEO of a company, right? So not everybody's path is linear, straight. कि इसके बाद ये, इसके बाद ये, इसके बाद ये. This is nothing. And even if you guys think about it, your career is around 30 to 40 years ahead of you, and you're thinking about the first 2 3 years of your career or the last 2 3 years of your career, and judging your entire career as bad. That should not be the case. Your last 2 3 years are merely 5% or 4% of your entire career, right? So if you show conviction that you want to do something, if you show conviction that you have thought about it and then you have taken this decision, nobody should judge you in a negative way. I hope that
Got it.
answers, Saurabh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Shivam, can you please unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, hi Shreekanth sir. Yeah, so
Yeah.
sir, my question is that actually, what does interviewer expect from the question at the end of interview whenever he asks that, do you have any questions or queries? Means what is expected to ask at that point? Means I'm not sure, like, what they are expecting at that moment. It should not look like a formality that I am asking any such questions or what.
Correct. Got it. Charudat, would you want to take this question? Why do they generally ask?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
So what are they trying to understand is the person curious to know about the course, or if they have any doubts regarding the course, or just want to understand more about the person, what is his or her thinking like. Otherwise, there's no other thing that by question what they're trying to understand. It's just that whether you're curious, whether you want to uh, know what are you getting into. So, for example, if I'm going to get into JBIMS MHRD, do I have some questions? Do I have some doubts? Do I have those kind of things? And if there is some person who's a very well-known person in the HR field, so you can definitely ask them about um, uh, things in the HR world or what's happening in the business world. Those are some things that you can ask.
Yeah. So generally, that is what the purpose is to know more, a little more about you, and also to check if you are not check exactly, but also to see if you're really curious about the course or really curious about the interview. I think yeah, I think that
Yes.
helps Shiva.
Yes.
Okay. So Pratiksha, can you unmute and ask your question next?
Okay, so I just wanted to ask, I have completed my engineering in computer science this year, so I am a fresher. So how should I, answer them that I'm not, I had, means I didn't do job and I directly come here. So how should I answer this question?
So you are a fresher with no gap years, right?
Yes, yes.
I think that is completely fine. A lot of, yeah, I think around 30%, 25 to 30% of every batch of MBA is freshers only in India. So it's not something that you need to explain as such. Rather, focus on why do you want to do MSc Finance or why do you want to do MHRD. You did computer science, okay. You learned a lot of things from it, and now you want to apply those things in a different way, or you want to just transition your career into HR because this is something which is very interesting. An engineering takes around 4 years, right? And you discover a lot of new things, you explore a lot of new things, and you just have to show what all new things you explored and why the things which you like are in this domain and why you want to continue. So generally, you will not be specifically asked this question. I think freshers from every diverse background can come into MSc Finance, and in fact you can answer it in this way also. You can say that since you are from computer science background, your perspective will be different to a perspective of a person who is coming from a BCom background, because BCom background person will already have finance as his minor subjects in his college. So he will have a set perspective set within his minds. But a computer science grad will have a different perspective about some things related to finance. Maybe fintech, they will have much more understanding than the BCom person. So you can show that you are from a diverse background. That's why you bring in diversity, and your perceptions and your thoughts and your opinions will definitely help the discussion around in this domain. It could be finance or it could be HR. Answer would be the same for both.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Onkar, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm audible.
Hi. Yeah, you're audible.
I have done BBA and MBA in finance. Now currently working in MSc over more than 1 year in private market.
Okay.
And now I applied for MSc. If they are asking me already, you have done MBA finance. Then
Huh.
why do you want to do MSc? How could I answer best?
See, I think it's not a very difficult question to tackle also. If you think of it in a different way, so just see what are the career opportunities which you have right now and compare it with the career opportunities that you're going to get after MSc Finance, right? And once you compare those, you will have a lot of answers. So the job or the starting salary is not the only answer. Apart from that, as I mentioned, the networking part you can highlight. So if you have already done an MBA in finance, you can also mention that there are certain topics which you want to study more about and go deep dive into. Maybe uh, you get understanding of that topic from a really good professor in this college, right? You can mention that. You can also mention that the career progression because of this MSc Finance degree in your life has a lot of impact on your career. And the impact could be how your career moves forward, fast forward in a couple of years because you get a good role, you get a good job. So if there are ways available to better your career, why not do it? People go for an upgrade course, people go for, even I am Ahmedabad students go for a double MBA in INSEAD in Europe and in other colleges or in another universities. Uh, a lot of IIM graduates will go to upgrade or other, part-time B schools to get a certification course, etc. You are also doing the same thing. So you don't have to, feel bad कि यार मैंने तो already किया है वापस मैं कर रहा हूँ पूछेंगे. Rather बोलो कि ये कर रहा हूँ because मुझे इसके वजह से ये सारे opportunities मिलने वाले हैं and this is how my career is going to transition, and highlight that topic and say कि why JBIMS MSc Finance is giving you all of those things. Uh, and it's lucky that you worked hard for it, you prepared for it, and you got a chance to interview. You have to explain it. You don't have to fear from it and beg for an admission. Rather, you have to showcase them that how you are more of a good fit for this batch than others. Obviously, if you have an MBA in finance, that means your inputs in every discussion will be much more thought of, right? Lot of students will be very helpful if you are in the batch because you already know all the finance topics. So you can mention that also, and how you will also be helped by other students. So I think you can answer it in this way.
How we can mention that I already done MBA finance, then that we can mention I can put additional or can help other peer group in the. Can we mention such a thing?
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to mention the peer group. You can see in terms of helping your peer group is not the entire topic which I'm focusing on. Peer group is the topic, right? So you're helping your peer group and you're also getting a lot back from them. It creates a network also with them. The uh, generally you did your MBA in finance, right? And now look for topics which are not taught in MBA in finance and which are taught in MSc in finance. You can highlight that you want to cover those topics as well. So any which ways which shows interest in this course, or which shows that your decision is something you're thought of religiously, then it won't be an issue.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So Dhanshu, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
I'm working with two NGOs. Like, one is totally into spirituality, like yoga and wellness program,
Yeah.
and one is like social work. So, as the
Yeah.
MHRD has the CSR activities and as well as the yoga and wellness program, so do I correlate with those programs as well?
Yeah,
I
I
also
think
want to know about like something about the yoga and wellness program. Like, how often do they organize those sessions and all?
Charadat can answer this question.
Yes, so they do have yoga and wellness sessions, and it used to happen for us every alternate days, and it used to happen like it went on, and then to give you a reality check, it didn't go on for a long time because students didn't give a lot of attention to it. But yes, you can definitely add this point in your interview, saying that you have interest in yoga, spirituality, and since this course also has a lot of emphasis on yoga and mental well-being, and that is something that as an HR professional, that is something that is very important, because if you are going to be someone who's going to lead your organization, who's going to take decisions for the company and make policies and do the grievance redressal, for you yourself also it is very important that yes, I'll be able to keep myself calm. I'll be able to take right decisions. So that ways you can say both the things, that one, as an HR professional this is important, and secondly you can connect it to the course and the part where we have yoga and wellness.
Also, personally, also you can connect it, how it helps you as a person in general, how it helps your mindset. I think it has a lot of impact, which generally people don't talk about enough. But yeah, every CEO or every leadership position people, you go and ask them how important yoga or meditation is for them, and they will, give you a very big answer. So if you want to succeed in your life, I think these are really good topics which you should focus on. And even in corporates, they have a lot of yoga sessions nowadays, so meditation sessions, etc. Yeah, please mention that.
Okay, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Shruti, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
You said that we should avoid speaking about our failures.
Yeah.
But in my case, I can't avoid it. So what
Okay.
should I do?
So see,
Because
every failure is a learning experience, right? So if you fail at something, you can write 10 learnings about it. If you pass at something, you can write only 2 or 3 learnings about it. So you are at a better position than people who have passed. And if you want to elaborate more on your failure or you want to give us an idea or ask a specific question, please go ahead.
I yes, actually I'm a science student. Means I had a science till 12th, and after
Okay.
that, I decided to do NEET, and for that I took 3 years. I repeated NEET because I wanted MBBS government college because I couldn't afford private.
Okay.
And in those 3 years, I did my graduation from Open University, which is pretty visible. So they will definitely ask me why I did graduation from Open University and what I was doing all these years. So I have to mention that I was repeating NEET.
Yeah.
So yeah, so how should I tackle that?
So you have done your undergraduation in what?
Arts
Arts in an open university, and you repeated for NEET, right?
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. So it's fine. See, you can. It shows that you are really perseverant about a particular topic of interest for you. So you prepared for NEET once, twice, thrice. That shows that you wanted to, pursue a career in that particular domain. But then after failing, or after not being able to satisfy the required criteria or eligibility, you were not able to do it, and that is why you have to now decide to, do career in a different field.
After
And
that, actually, sir, after that, my parent convinced me to stop this nonsense and do some job. So I decided to change my whole path and started preparing for government exam or defense exam. And I cracked the Air Force Academy test, AFCAT, for flying officer and administrative officer. But then I went to Air Force Preparatory Academy, and after that went for SSB and got conference out on the fifth day. So this was my whole journey. And so how should I mention that as well?
so you got conference out means after that you again prepared for CET.
Yes.
हाँ ठीक है. So in Air Force Academy you were there for how many years?
No, it was a for interview preparation. It was 5 days interview, SSB interview.
See, you don't need to mention that specifically. And even if you do mention that, I don't think that will be a problem. Again, see, you tried NEET, you tried Air Force, it didn't work out for you. And you can't be, very casual by saying कि ठीक है, I tried this, I tried that, and अभी बस ये मिल गया तो मैं ये कर रही हूँ. अगर ऐसा, if you give an answer to anyone else, they will not, accept your answer. They will reject you. So you have to generate an answer. You have to create an answer about why you thought of this particularly. ठीक है, you did Air Force wala thing, you did NEET wala thing, it didn't work out. That is something which you have to put aside for now. You should now think about why are you going in MSc Finance. If your goal and if your ideas are not in the right way, right? So even if you convert MSc Finance, you will not be happy with your life. Even if you do MSc Finance for 2 years, get a job, maybe you will not be happy with your life, right? So you think about it now itself कि आपको क्यों करना है MSc Finance and क्यों आपने ये टॉपिक के लिए प्रिपेयर किया. You can't say कि just because गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम्स भी दे दिया था तो ये भी एग्जाम दे दिया and मिल गया. That answer won't work out. So think about it in this way ki, okay, I tried 2 different career paths. It didn't work out for me. And that is why I'm choosing this career path as of now. And I've done some research. कुछ research करो चाहिए तो अभी से start करो करने के लिए.
Actually, sir, while I was preparing for SSB in my academy in Nagpur, So I was mostly focused on administrative officer part because
Okay.
I might not be eligible for the flying officer part. So during that, I knew that I wanted to do this administrative officer thing.
Okay.
Where you administer the whole Air Force station, whichever you got relocated in or recommended in.
Yeah.
So during my SSB's conference day, the my interviewing officer, who was Air Commodore at that time, he asked me what is my option B if this didn't work out for me. If
Huh.
I get conference out, what I'm gonna do? Then I told him that I'm going to do an MBA. So yeah, he asked me MBA in which specialization. So I said I haven't decided that. So he said,
Okay.
which MBA do you think aligned the most with the Air Force administration?
Huh.
And I said, I don't know, sir. I'll get back to you later.
Yeah. So you already have 3-4 points. The person, the Air Commodore asked you all these questions. These are the questions you need to answer now. That's it. These are the questions which you need to think about. This is what your answer will be for your question. So it's really good. Like the story as well is good. You mentioned that it is your plan B and that is why you went also for it. Right? So that shows that ठीक है, you have thought of it in your life. मतलब don't think that everybody who is in JBIMS or in IIM Ahmedabad, उन लोग का plan A वहाँ होना था. A lot of people have plan B, plan C, plan D. Your case, it is plan B. My case is also plan B doing JBIMS. I would have maybe done something else, maybe become a pilot. So
Yes.
everybody will have a different answer. You just have to think कि नहीं मैंने सोचा है इसके बारे में ऐसे ही बस उठ के मैं नहीं आ गई हूँ और मैं since you're from Air Force and you have a certain knowledge of this Air Force wala thing and also the NEET wala thing again repeating my point but your perspective is again a different brings a different picture to the discussion. So again that also helps. Think of these pointers in ways which will help you, not in a way which you think you're not comfortable or you're awkward or you're feeling that they will judge you. Don't be like that. Show 100% confidence. Even if you say anything in a very confident way, right, they will just be happy with the energy which you bring in, and that is what they
Thank,
look for ultimately.
thank you, sir.
Yeah. Sanket, would you like to unmute and ask?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. I want to ask the question like I'm from a computer science background, so
Okay.
and I have experience, and I am mentioning that I work on two projects. The first one is about insurance, and second one is to develop a financial system. So
Okay.
will they, after that will they ask me finance question?
Pranav, you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Sanket. Yes, they'll definitely ask you questions regarding your project. See, since you mentioned you're doing work on insurance, then definitely you've read something about insurance, right? While you're doing your project, आपको idea होगा कि insurance sector क्या है, आप project में क्या क्या data डाल रहे हो, तो उस पर definitely आपको questions आ सकते हैं. And आपने कैसा system build किया? आपने mention किया कि आप finance का एक system build कर रहे हो, right? तो आपने
Yes.
कैसा system build किया? आपने क्यू सिस्टम बिल्ड किया, वो सिस्टम के एडवांटेजेस क्या होंगे यूजर को? ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आप डेफिनेटली एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो उसके अराउंड.
Yes, I know about the technical side of the projects, but the real like financial questions I haven't prepared for that.
तो मतलब
I
मेरे को
work on the data
दो तीन
sets.
सेंटेंस में फटाफट बता दीजिए कि आपका सिस्टम कैसा था.
Like for insurance, I work on the incident management, like
ओके.
managing data sets and solving a customer problem. Like it's a customer-centric project. And for financial management, like I have developed a dashboard and on work on the data set part, database.
ओके, तो किस टाइप का डेटा आ रहा है कंपनी में, इस पे आपको क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं. आपको ये क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा कि इंश्योरेंस में कितने टाइप्स होते हैं, या उतने टेक्निकल नहीं आएंगे कि ये इंश्योरेंस का क्या मतलब होता है, वो इंश्योरेंस का क्या. बेसिक क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे आपको, इंश्योरेंस क्या होता है. देन आपको
अच्छा.
पूछेंगे कि आपके सिस्टम में क्या क्या था जो लोगों को हेल्प करेगा. ठीक है, आप नया
Okay.
सिस्टम बना रहे हो, मतलब आपको कुछ इनोवेटिव आइडिया है, राइट. वरना तो लोग पुराना यूज करते सिस्टम। आपके सिस्टम में ऐसी क्या यूनिक बात है कि आपका सिस्टम लोग यूज करेंगे? ठीक है, तो वैसे आपको क्वेश्चंस डेफिनेटली पूछ सकते हैं।
एंड अभी मेरा मतलब सिमसरी मिला है मुझे,
ओके,
तो वो पूछेंगे लाइक तुम सिमसरी का एमएमएस क्यों ज्वाइन नहीं
नहीं
कर
नहीं,
रहे, और
आपको ऐसे नहीं पूछेंगे कि आप सिमसरी क्यों नहीं ज्वाइन कर रहे। आपको ऐसा पूछ सकते हैं कि अगर फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ नहीं मिला आपको ये कोर्स, तो आपके क्या प्लान्स हैं। ठीक है, ऐसा टाइप को आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। आप सामने से मत बताना कि मुझे यहाँ पे एडमिशन मिल गया, ठीक है, वरना आपको बोल देंगे ठीक है जाओ वहां पे। तो आप सामने से मत मेंशन करना।
यस
बट
यस।
पूछेंगे तो आप बोल सकते हो कि ऐसा, श्रीकांत, आई डोंट थिंक यू शुड मेंशन, नो, दैट
आई शुड नॉट मेंशन, मतलब अगर
नॉट मेंशन।
सामने से बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है कि
एग्जैक्टली।
मेरे पास ऑलरेडी सिम 3 का एडमिशन है। अगर वो पूछते हैं, पूछेंगे भी नहीं मोस्टली, तो वो
पूछा तो बोल देना प्रिपेयर करके अगले साल आऊंगा वापस। अच्छा लगेगा उनको सुनने को भी।
हाँ, तो वही आंसर मैंने लास्ट ईयर बोला था। लास्ट ईयर भी मुझे मतलब दिया था इंटरव्यू में से
ओके।
फाइनेंस का, बट
ओके।
मेरा परसेंटाइल कम था एंड ओपन कैटेगरी था, तो वो हुआ नहीं लाइक।
अच्छा, आप लास्ट ईयर आए थे इंटरव्यू
97,
देने?
97.62 था परसेंटाइल,
ओके।
एंड अभी 99.8 है।
तो आपको तो
तो
फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस है ना इंटरव्यूज का।
यस
आपको तो
यस।
बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस मिल गया है यहाँ पे, कि मतलब आपको
या
पता है कैसे टाइप के क्वेश्चंस भी वगैरह आ सकते हैं।
तो संकेत, व्हाट डाउट डू यू हैव एग्जैक्टली, मतलब क्या लग रहा है कि कैसे क्वेश्चन आएगा तो मुझे मेरा नहीं होगा,
एग्जैक्टली।
व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
तो मुझे यही डाउट है कि वो पूछेंगे कि तुम्हारे पास मतलब दूसरे कॉलेज कन्वर्ट है तो एमएमएस क्यों नहीं ले रहे हो, एंड एमएससी क्यों लेना है स्पेशली।
तो दिस इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, राइट? आप ये अपॉर्चुनिटी को यूज करके बताओ कि आपने तो लास्ट ईयर भी दिया था, स्टिल आपको नहीं मिला, तो आपने होप्स लूज नहीं किया, यू प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट अगेन एंड देन फिर आप आए हो। और वो प्रिपेयर करने के लिए काफी सारा टाइम जाता है, उस प्रिपरेशन में आप फाइनेंस पढ़ते बैठोगे, ये वो लोग एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं कर रहे, राइट? और आपने जो बोला, जो इनोवेटिव वगैरह जो डैशबोर्ड्स बनाया, राइट? डैशबोर्ड्स
हम्म।
बनाने के लिए डेटा सेट्स यूज किया है, टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट तुमको पता है, फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट्स तुमको नहीं पता है, ये क्लियरली बोल सकते हो, और वो मुझे सीखना है ये भी बोल सकते हो।
एग्जैक्टली।
तो जरूरी नहीं है कि आपने नहीं सीखा तो आपकी गलती है। यू आर कमिंग हियर टू लर्न, नहीं तो नॉर्मली जॉब पे या कहीं पर भी लोग काम करते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा हर
हम्म।
कोई सीखता नहीं है जॉब पे, और सीखने के लिए टाइम रहता नहीं है क्योंकि डेडलाइंस ही इतने हैं। तो सीखने के लिए आप यहाँ पे आ रहे हो, सो व्हाई नॉट टेक दिस एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी। एंड आई मीन यू आर इन अ मच बेटर पोजिशन एज
यस।
कम्पेयर टू यू आर लास्ट ईयर, राइट? आप बहुत ही अच्छे पोजिशन पे हो एंड यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ डेटा टू बैक विद ऑल्सो। अगेन एज
हम्म।
प्रणव मेंशन, आप बोलो नेक्स्ट ईयर प्रिपेयर करके आते हो, तुम तो आ गए हो एक्चुअली प्रिपेयर
हाँ,
करके।
एग्जैक्टली दैट वन पॉइंट आप बोल सकते हो कि सर इतना
हाँ
इच्छा था ये कोर्स में जाने का, ऑब्वियसली इंग्लिश में ही, मैं
हाँ
आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन इसमें दे रहा हूँ कि मुझे यही कोर्स चाहिए, इसलिए मैं वापस आया हूँ ये साल,
हाँ।
मुझे यही कोर्स में एडमिशन चाहिए, तो दैट विल 100% प्रूव कर लेगा आपका पॉइंट।
एंड
तो
सी,
ये बोलने से नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा लाइक,
नहीं नहीं नहीं,
मतलब मैंने लास्ट ईयर दिया था तो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट नहीं पड़ेगा ना।
इसको पॉजिटिव में कन्वर्ट कर दो आप, कि मैं
हाँ
ये साल भी
हम्म।
आया हूँ क्योंकि मुझे यही कोर्स में एडमिशन लेना है। ऐसा मत बोलना मैं लास्ट ईयर आया और मेरा एडमिशन नहीं हुआ, मैं ये
हाँ
साल आया हूँ और मुझे ये साल भी उतनी ही इच्छा है ये कोर्स में एनरोल करने की। ऐसे कर,
एग्जैक्टली।
यस।
हाँ।
ये एकदम अननेचुरल, अनरियलिस्टिक फियर है कि मुझे ये बोलना चाहिए क्या नहीं कि मैं एक और बार आया हूँ। कन्विक्शन, परसिवरेंस, लोग बोलते हैं ना कि मेरा स्ट्रेंथ है परसिवरेंस, तो लोग पूछेंगे प्रूफ क्या है भाई? तो मेरे पास तो प्रूफ भी नहीं है, तुम्हारे पास तो प्रूफ है,
एग्जैक्टली।
तो तुम
एंड
क्यों डर रहे हो?
एंड ब्रो मेरा लाइक कैट में क्वांट में 99 परसेंटाइल है, सो मैं उसको एक एडवांटेज की तरह यूज कर सकता हूँ क्या।
100%।
डेफिनेटली।
अभी तो
ओके।
प्रणव ने मेंशन किया ना, क्वांट हैवी कोर्स है और तुम्हारा
यस।
ऑलरेडी क्वांट में अच्छा है, तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा क्लासरूम
एब्सोल्युटली।
के लिए, गुड एडिशन।
एब्सोल्युटली, आपको
अच्छा।
पूछा जाए कि क्यों एमएससी फाइनेंस ही करना है, तो
हाँ,
definitely
और
जो,
स्ट्रेंथन
हाँ
हो गया वो
एग्जैक्टली।
आंसर तो, आई थिंक।
यस, एकदम।
एंड एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन, लाइक आप मॉक इंटरव्यूज प्रोवाइड करते हो क्या।
अभी तो हम लोग काफी टाइम बाउंडेड है, तो करेंटली वी हैव नॉट प्लान, बट ये ग्रुप में ओपन कर दूंगा, आप लोग को जो क्वेश्चन है वो पूछो। वो मॉक इंटरव्यूज अगर कंडक्ट करना है तो आई कैन आस्क प्रणव, चारुदत्त एंड अदर्स आल्सो इफ दे आर इंटरेस्टेड, और टाइम है अगर तो कर पाऊंगा, नहीं तो इट इज डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज एवरीवन इज ऑन अ जॉब और कॉलेज में है। तो ग्रुप में तो पूछ लेना, अगर कुछ आता है अपडेट तो मैं आप लोग को बता दूंगा।
ओके ओके। यस, थैंक यू।
ऑल द बेस्ट संकेत, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू थैंक यू।
या
Hello,
Uh,
sir. Can I ask a question?
yeah, Riddhi, sure.
Actually, sir, I wasn't able to raise my hand. Sorry for that.
No problem.
Actually, I have done my BTech in biotechnology,
Okay.
and now I want to do MHRD from JBIMS. So, how can I tell them why am I shifting from biotech to MHRD?
So what are the reason? Can you tell me why are you shifting from
Exactly, it's a
biotech to
very
MHRD?
personalized answer.
Yeah, it is, but I want a valid answer that I can convince
So
them.
tell me an unvalid and unfiltered answer.
Like I genuinely want to switch my career.
Okay.
I don't have
Un
much, yeah,
uh,
I don't have
yeah.
much interest in biotechnology and research field.
Okay.
And during my fourth year, I found that I like means managing teams through my project work,
Okay.
and found that I have interest in management.
If you give this same exact answer in a much, better way, this is your answer. You don't have to make any other answer. आपको कोई और आंसर बनाना ही नहीं है. यही आपका आंसर है. इसको बस पॉइंट्स में बोलना है. करियर
Hmm.
ट्रांजिशन आपने सोचा आफ्टर योर बायोटेक, बिकॉज बायोटेक में इतना टाइम स्पेंड करने के बाद में you thought what is your goal, where can you impact more. आपने बायोटेक में बहुत सारे कॉम्पिटिशन्स या बहुत सारे इवेंट्स में पार्ट लिया होगा, वहां पे आपने टीम मैनेजमेंट सीखा, टीम मैनेजमेंट में आपको ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट आया, देन यू रिसर्च्ड अबाउट एमएचआरडी कोर्स. उसके बाद में ही तो आपने कोर्स के लिए अप्लाई किया, और कोर्स में अप्लाई करने के बाद में भले ही आपने एमबीए के लिए सोचा होगा, बट आपको एमएचआरडी में एचआर वाला फील्ड ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग लगा. So all of this is connecting the story only. So there is no bad thing or negative thing I find in your answer. Your answer is really great. It's just that you have to point out all the statements in a single pointer. जैसे career transition एक चीज बोल सकते हो. दूसरा
Okay.
team management, empathy and human resource management या फिर ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट में आपका ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट आया. आपको ये बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है कि बायोटेक्नोलॉजी मुझे बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं आया. वो
Yeah.
कभी नहीं बोलना है. नेवर मेंशन दैट माय प्रीवियस कोर्स इज समथिंग व्हिच आई डिड नॉट लाइक एंड इट्स वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम डूइंग दिस. रादर से कि I spent some time in this domain, in this career, and I realized that I have to do something more. I have to do something in this particular domain which I found really interesting, and that is why I am transitioning my career into this. ये words भी अगर आप बोलोगे ऐसे तो I think is a very good answer. If I
Okay,
am
sir.
taking your interview also, I will also look for these specific answers itself, right? So,
Okay.
hmm, yeah,
Sir, and I also want to ask about the WAT and GD topics for MHRD. Can you please share on the group?
yeah, we will be putting some topics, mock topics and questions. So, डाल देंगे, आप देख लेना, उस पे वर्क कर सकते हो.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Karsha, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
So hi everyone, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so I did my computer science engineering from like engineering college, of course, and there I was the Miss Fresher. It was like it's an unofficial competition and everything, but then the like Miss Fresher being the Miss Fresher was like one of the most what can I say, amazing position of responsibility that I took up, managing the entire student run mess for the like all the 4 year students and everything. But then I don't have the certification for that, the certificate. So is it okay if I mention that, or do we like need the certificates exactly for mentioning any? And this was like one of the most amazing project where I got to manage people and look after every little detail. So is it okay if I mention it without certificate?
Yeah, I think you can
And
mention a lot of things. You necessarily don't need to have a certificate. A lot of your personal incidences or instances in your life will not have a certificate attached to it. And since
right.
you're talking about your learning, the
Mm-hmm.
learning aspect is much more interesting, which the interviewers are also interested in, rather than the story attached to it. They're more focused on what you learn.
Got it. Okay. And one more thing, like now that like the HRD students, those who are getting like enrolled for the HRD program there, we know that we're going to get an SOP to write. So is there any possible way that we can get our SOP reviewed from you guys, but roughly, or like is there some way, if possible?
So, see, it will only be possible if more MSc Finance and MHRD students are there to help me with this. I'll have
Okay.
to reach out to them. I'll see, because see, we three of us can't take 60 people SOPs and we can't verify them. There's not
Right.
enough time, honestly. This
Of
session
course.
also we are doing after, so Pranav is right after JBIMS से just अभी आके घर पे बैठा. I think he just had his dinner and said, I came from the office. ऑफिस में भी मैं यही कर रहा था, डेक बना रहा था. ऑफिस करने के बाद में यहाँ आया. चारुदत्त को मैंने सुबह ऑफिस जाने के टाइम पे कॉल किया था कि यार सेशन करना है, और फर्स्ट टाइम कॉल किया था, एंड वो भी ऑफिस के बाद अभी आया है. So time is a crunch, but yeah, we want to help, but we have to see if that is possible or not. But yeah, please ask questions in the groups. We will be there to answer. We can help you out on that.
Got it. Thank you so much. So,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you so much for all the efforts you're taking for sure. Really.
you're welcome. Shruti, would you like to unmute and ask?
Hello, am
Yeah,
I audible?
yeah.
Uh, so Shreekanth, I've completed my master's in biology last year in 2023,
Okay,
and since then I'm preparing for CAT and CET.
okay,
So they will ask me why MSc Finance, and I'm not
yeah,
able to come up with a suitable answer. So how can I answer this?
okay. So why do you want to do MSc Finance again? The same
So
question I asked to Dindi.
I have completed my master's from IISER Pune. It's a leading research institute in the country.
Huh,
My plan A was to study biology, then go for a PhD, become a scientist.
okay,
So the last year of my degree involves a master's thesis. You have to work in a lab on a research question, write a thesis on that, defend it, and then you get the degree.
huh,
So in that 10 months, I realized that this is not something that I can do for life.
okay,
And uh, what I observed was there is very less stability in that field. And I
okay,
don't want the life that follows. So then
okay,
I thought of a transition,
okay.
and that's why I decided to prepare for these management entrances.
Okay, perfect. So again, you can mention that you. So whenever you're mentioning this, right, you're changing your career, you're transitioning your career. One aspect is definitely that what is the things that you looked for in that career field, or what are the things that you thought ki does not suit you, and why doesn't it suit you, right? You are choosing not to do something even if you have the degree for it. That shows that you have thought about it, right? You have put some thought and you realized ki your impact in this particular domain will not satisfy you. And ultimately every human being's innate nature is to do something which will satisfy him. Nobody wants to work or slog in the office for like 10 hours just because they want to earn some money. They want to do some work which they enjoy doing it, right? So you can say there are a lot of experiences during this your MSc wala course, and leading to those experiences, again you'll have to figure out points. As I mentioned, a first assignment which I gave you guys, right, a couple of minutes ago. So just list out 5 points or 3 points in each year of your life for the last 5 to 6 years. And for each of those five instances now, write down three learnings. And when you do that now, you will have your answers for why you want to go for MSc Finance. A lot of reasons could be personal reason. Okay, you see yourself working not in a science laboratory or in a different industrial area. You see yourself working in a corporate environment. And why do you want to work in a corporate environment? Because you see that you have more impact over here. maybe you would not be a great scientist, but maybe you could be a great CFO someday, right? So you have to show that these are the reasons why you technically not going for it. And again, if they really want everybody to be from BCom in MSc Finance, they will not take your interview only, right?
Yeah.
Everyone in MSc Finance should be from BCom only then. But that is not the case. Everyone in MSc Finance is from a different background. So obviously there are more engineers than BCom students. So again, don't think of it in a way that it's a bad thing you're doing or they're gonna judge you. Just think of it in a way ki, okay, how do I highlight my interests? For that you need to learn about yourself first. If you do that deep analysis on your career for the last 10 years, three learnings from each year and three instances, and each instances get three learnings, you will get a lot of answers.
Okay. One more thing.
Yeah.
For group discussion and what if the topic is completely unknown? I have no idea about it, or I'm hearing that for the first time. How to react in such situations? What to do?
So generally there won't be a topic which you are completely unaware of. ऐसा कोई topic होगा ही नहीं. You will have at least some sort of idea कि what that topic is. So don't be in this fearful state that कुछ एकदम ही टेढ़ा मेढ़ा पूछ लेंगे जो तुमने कभी देखा ही नहीं है जिंदगी में. ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है. Anything, see, if you're reading current affairs, right, you will definitely read that topic. And not necessarily ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि कोई एकदम कोर फाइनेंस वाला टॉपिक पूछ लिया आपको, और अगर एकदम कोर वाला पूछ भी लिया ना, you can politely mention that you don't know about it and you want to learn about it and you study about it. In your previous academic years, you never had an opportunity to learn about a finance topic. बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में एमएससी में फाइनेंस वाला कोई डालेगा ही नहीं टॉपिक, सो आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं था, बट अभी आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी चाहिए, इसलिए आप यहाँ पे आए. सो पोलाइटली रिजेक्टेड सेइंग कि आई डोंट नो. बट ग्रुप डिस्कशन एंड इसमें तो ऐसा कोई आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स टॉपिक कभी नहीं आने वाला.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Shruti, I would want to add. So, yeah, in case if you get a topic जो आपको बिल्कुल ही नहीं पता है, कि आपको लग रहा है कि this I'm not heard of, one good see, of course, as Shreekanth said, there's no chance कि ऐसा कभी topic आएगा. Usually they only give topics which everyone would know. But नहीं पता है तो क्या करो? Starting के 5 मिनट 10 मिनट just listen to what others are saying. Okay. You're
Okay.
asking about GD, right? GD में अगर topic आता है ऐसा तो.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what you do is in the initial 5-10 minutes of the GD, just try to listen to people, try to understand what they're saying, and basis that, then you come up with a strategy, right? Either आप आंसर का शैडो करो. शैडो यानी कैसा, सेम क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा सा अलग तरीके से बोलने की कोशिश करो कि इसने ऐसा बोला है, मैं उसको थोड़ा अलग अंदाज से बोल दूं, बिकॉज इन दैट सिचुएशन आपको बोलना ही है. बट अगर आपको कुछ नहीं आ रहा है तो आप क्या करोगे? यू ट्राई टू इमिटेट, या फिर उसके जैसा थोड़ा बोलोगे. एग्जैक्ट सेम वर्ड टू वर्ड नहीं, बट कुछ एचआर रिलेटेड टॉपिक हो तो, मतलब अगर फिनेंस वाला हो तो कुछ आपको उससे कुछ भी रिलेटेड आ रहा है दिमाग में, वो डाल दो. फैक्ट्स है वो डाल दो. से दैट ओके, आई एग्री टू दिस पर्सन, एडिंग ऑन टू व्हाट ही हैज सेड, आई हैव डन दिस. या फिर इन द बेस्ट पॉसिबल वे इज नोट डाउन सबके पॉइंट्स एंड इन द एंड गिव अ कंक्लूजन. कंक्लूजन में क्या बोल दो आप कि हाँ, इन द टोटल डिस्कशन दिस वाज अ टॉपिक, दिस इज हाउ वी स्टार्टेड. Throughout the discussion, these are the points that were discussed, and I would like to conclude by XYZ points.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
perfect. Summarizing the answer again can do help in that.
Yeah.
Vishal, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hello. Hi. Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah.
So I have completed my BMS in marketing, and after that I have worked in a digital marketing agency as a PPC executive, and after that I worked there for 2 years, and I quit my job for the preparations for the CAT and other entrance exam, and yeah, so I just want to know that how could I explain them that why I'm switching from marketing to for finance. So how could I explain?
So see,
So sorry to cut you. So there's one point. So while preparing, I was working in part time as a uh, uh, the cooperative societies accounting in a cooperative societies firm where they do auditing and accounting for the cooperative and commercial societies. So I was working there, and from there I got an interest in numbers and all balance sheets and uh, all those things. So can I explain through that or
Shreekanth,
kind of
I'll take this one.
Yeah, sure.
See, hi Vishal.
yeah.
We can definitely mention it. Don't keep this as your main point. You tell me first what interests you. Like, see, you have done marketing, right? तो
Yeah.
मार्केटिंग से फाइनेंस में आने के लिए ठीक है आपने अकाउंट्स किया, उसके अलावा कुछ है जो आपको इंटरेस्ट है फाइनेंस में?
फिनांस में सच इंटरेस्ट तो वही था कि जो मैं आई वाज वर्किंग एज पार्ट टाइम इन दैट फर्म.
तो मतलब अकाउंट से आपको फाइनेंस में इंटरेस्ट आया, अकाउंट से नंबर्स में इंटरेस्ट आया, देन फाइनेंस में इंटरेस्ट आया?
या
ओके,
वही. हाँ.
ठीक है. तो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज, जैसे मैंने मेंशन किया कि इट्स अ नंबर हेवी कोर्स, ठीक है, एमएससी फाइनेंस. तो आप वैसे अपना पॉइंट रिलेट कर सकते हो, ठीक है, कि आई वाज वर्किंग विद नंबर्स एंड देन मुझे बहुत इंटरेस्ट आया जब मैं काम कर रहा था ना. आप ऐसे उसको पुट फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हो कि मैं पार्ट टाइम कर रहा था, बट मुझे इतना इंटरेस्ट आया नंबर्स में कि मुझे लगा मुझे करियर में परस्यू करके फुल टाइम करना है इसको. You can nicely frame that answer from part-time to getting interest in that subject and converting it into something that you really want to do full-time.
ओके.
ठीक है?
हाँ.
All right.
तो हाँ वही था कि एक्चुअली क्या मतलब उतना रेफरेंस काफी होगा कि मुझे वो मेरा इंटरेस्ट उनको मतलब दिखाना वो ही
this can be one point. Second point is कि BMS किया है ना आपने, तो
राइट.
थोड़े फाइनेंस सब्जेक्ट्स तो आ ही रहेंगे 3 साल में कभी ना कभी.
या फर्स्ट ईयर में फाइनेंस था.
Absolutely relate with that.
ओके. सो अगर उन्होंने पूछा कि व्हाई डिडंट यू ऑप्ट फॉर फाइनेंस इन द सेकंड ईयर इटसेल्फ, बिकॉज वो फॉर ऑप्टिंग फाइनेंस इन द सेकंड ईयर यू हैव टू स्कोर that cutoff you have to clear. So I didn't got that much score. That's why I didn't take finance. I took marketing that time.
See, don't mention negatively, मत mention करना, बट बोलना कि सिंस मैंने फर्स्ट ईयर में फाइनेंस पढ़ा था, मुझे मार्केटिंग एक्सपीरियंस लेना था सेकेंड ईयर में, बट जब मैंने फाइनेंस में एक्चुअली काम करना शुरू किया ना, मेरे लिए कंफर्म हो गया ये चीज कि मुझे मेरा करियर फाइनेंस में ही बनाना है.
ओके.
ठीक है, ऐसे करके स्टार्ट करो. आपकी कॉलेज में भी था एक पॉइंट आपका, उसके बारे में बोल सकते हो. देन यू कैन मेंशन द पार्ट टाइम एक्सपीरियंस दैट एक्चुअली गॉट यू इंटरेस्टेड इन फाइनेंस, एंड देन कंक्लूड बाय सेइंग कि मुझे पार्ट टाइम को अभी फुल टाइम में कन्वर्ट करना है फाइनेंस करियर में.
ओके.
ठीक है.
ओके. ठीक है. तो मैंने जॉब भी एक्चुअली उसमें ही किया था, मार्केटिंग में, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में. तो उन्होंने उस पर भी मुझे काउंटर क्वेश्चन किया कि आपने तभी भी फाइनेंस में क्यों नहीं चूज किया, आपका इंटरेस्ट था. तो मैं लाइक कैसे उनको कंक्लूड करूँ?
आपने फाइनेंस में पार्ट टाइम किया ना, आप अभी भी कर रहे हो वो डिजिटल मार्केटिंग वाला रोल?
नहीं, मैंने वो क्विट कर दिया था 1 साल पहले.
हाँ, तो यू हैव द परफेक्ट आंसर कि आपने वो रोल छोड़ा, आप फाइनेंस में पार्ट टाइम गए, तब आपको रियलाइज हुआ कि नहीं मुझे मार्केटिंग नहीं करना, मुझे फाइनेंस करना है. सो आई क्विट माय मार्केटिंग रोल एंड स्टार्टेड प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर अ फाइनेंस कोर्स टू गेट अ better exposure and better learning so that I can build my career in finance.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
No worries.
So I think we have reached quite a bit of a time as of now. So Avni, Kajal, Pratik, can you just quickly ask your question one by one each? Avni, you can go first.
Yeah, hi. I think you spoke about the gap year that we can say that we were transitioning or something. But my gap year was like purely only first entrance exam. So I was working in a startup for a year, and then I took a gap, and I gave after finishing my MHCET, I gave like I'm currently working as an intern in Crompton. So I just want to ask, like, how can I define the gap? Because just saying that you were studying only for entrance, is it enough? Because I don't think they'll be like, you were just doing one thing. and nothing else. And I don't have any certifications during that time.
Okay, fine. Sorry, by the way, your name is Anavi, right?
Annavi.
Anavi, okay. So we
Yes.
will answer this question. Kajal, can you just unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, hi, Shreekanth. Actually, my question is that last year also I have given a MSCT exam and I have got 98 point something percentile. But
Okay.
like, if I have to show them that I'm really interested in MHRD program, I believe this could be their question that then why, like, if you have given an MHRD exam last year but you didn't apply for the MHRD because I didn't. So like, how could I tackle this one?
Okay. Pratik, can you unmute and ask your question?
Hey Shrikant, I was working as a GT at an automotive firm for an year. Parallelly, I was doing some custom design and manufacturing solutions for small business. Later, I decided to quit my job after completing my GT period, that is for 1 year, and started pursuing that.
You're not audible.
Hello, now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, so I worked for an year there, and then I started pursuing my farm equipment business for full time because I was preparing for CAT. So my question is like, what if they ask why did you left your job after completing your training period? How should I go about that?
Okay, perfect. So I'll just summarize all of your questions and just answer for it. So Navi, you mentioned that gap only for preparing for a competitive exam. Is it good or bad? So if you just literally look at the statistics, at least 20% of batch of every, even I am Ahmedabad students, 20 to 30% people have taken gap just to study for MBA. There was a friend of mine in my batch. She had 3 years of gap in her in her resume. Still, she ended up in a consulting role in PwC. So don't feel that you have to prove that in your gap year you did something else apart from studies, or else you won't be considered at a in a better way. Don't feel in that way. See, preparing for a competitive exam itself is a huge task. An aspirant goes through a lot of stress, goes through a lot of overthinking, anxiety, etc., and they have to keep their mind straight. If you're focusing on something, it's not necessarily bad because you're prioritizing that thing. If you're doing 10 things in one go, just because you don't have a job, just because you're not working, doesn't mean that you have to definitely do something else. You can maybe show some certifications, or even if you have done nothing, it's fine. You can just say that you prepared for this competitive exam, and the reason why you prepared for it is because you want to pursue something in finance or pursue something in HR, and that is the reason why you prioritized it and focused on it completely. So that's how you can answer your gap wala question. Uh, Kajal, for your MHRD wala question, wherein you are worried that you did not apply, so they will ask again. Don't focus on topics such as they will ask, or they will know that you didn't apply for MHRD last year. You can say that your percentile was not enough. They will definitely not ask you कि आपने last year क्यों नहीं किया या इस year क्यों कर रहे हो. You can say last year नहीं किया because मेरा score या cut off I knew कि मेरा हो जाएगा. At the same time, you can also say कि अगर आपको कोई एक course नहीं मिल रहा है इस साल, which is not that something which you want to do, and next year you try for something else but you did not get a even better college, but you got the same thing again, you can definitely go for it, right? ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आपने आपको justify करना पड़ेगा कि आपने क्यों नहीं अप्लाई किया. बट अगेन, इफ इवन दो ऐसा होता है in a hypothetical scenario also wherein they ask you कि you did not apply last year, you applied it this year, you can say कि I took time to decide. पहले तो I decided that I want to go for an MBA, then I prepared for this examination. After that, I thought about which particular course I need to have an career for myself in, and then you decided ki MHRD hai, and that realization came to you this year, and that is why you decided to apply for it this year. You can justify it in that way. It's as simple as that. And third question, Pratik, you mentioned about leaving a corporate job and working on your farm or your own business. So you can say always, right? your own business gives you a lot more understanding. You maybe you have much more impact in your own business rather than your finance job or any other job which you were doing. So you not necessarily have to be in a way कि मैंने job छोड़ दिया तो मैं खुद का कर रहा था, या even if you do nothing you can just mention that you're transitioning your career of thinking about different thing. So you can definitely वो डायरेक्शन में भी लेके जा सकते हो कि मेरे ओन जॉब में मुझे ज्यादा लर्निंग पॉसिबिलिटीज दिख रही थी तभी, इसीलिए मैंने वो किया। बट ओन बिजनेस में इतना ज्यादा ग्रोथ नहीं था, इसलिए मैंने अभी रियलाइज किया कि मुझे एमएससी फाइनेंस करके और बेटर जॉब के लिए मैं भी अप्लाई करना चाहिए और ज्यादा लर्निंग लर्निंग लेना चाहिए। मे बी after a couple of years or after getting into a good position in corporate you end up doing your own job, you become an entrepreneur. So JBIMS is known as the CEO factory, and also JBIMS produces a lot of entrepreneurs, right? So ऐसा नहीं है कि they want you कि आप corporate job ही करते रहो जिंदगी भर। बहुत सारे entrepreneurs top colleges से आते हैं। So if you have that entrepreneurial instincts in you, that is a plus point for the batch and the plus point for yourself as well. So put it in a positive way, showing that your entrepreneurial instincts wanted to do something and that's why you did, and now you want to do it in a much more professional way, and that is why you're here. So I think I've covered all the questions, and it's a bit too late for Charudat and Pranav also. Lastly, I just want to thank Pranav and Charudat both for joining this session ad hoc, within such a shorter notice of time. I to remember talking to Pranav in last year exactly this day for this session. And I'm talking to him, exactly today. So, and similarly for Charudat, just one phone call and he ended up in the session. So, really, really grateful for both of you folks that you joined in and helped all of the students. This is just to give a glimpse of what JBIMS is for all the aspirants. Why do students, are preparing for this college? What does this give back? So this is something which everybody, should inculcate in this. This is what our professors have taught us. Give something back to the society. Don't take all the money and get rich. So a lot of professors will say that in JBIMS. So please very, very thankful again for Pranav and Charudatta for coming for this session on such a short notice, and very glad that you came, and I think a lot of students found it helpful. If you want to write anything about them in the chat, if you want to thank them, please thank them. And lastly, Pranav and Charudatta, would you want to close by just saying a couple of your thoughts? Pranav, if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. I think I'm happy that students are, taking efforts to ask questions, because I remember last year there were not so many students that were, willing to raise their hands. I'm happy that there were good questions. People actually want to come here. People are preparing well. So I just want to wish good luck to all the aspirants. I think the process is starting from tomorrow. Just be calm, and you will get a chance to, attempt for the VAT, GD, and PI. So just give your best in, all of the three elements that are there for your selection. Don't be nervous. And since you've been preparing since, you've scored great in your CET, you've been shortlisted here. So you have to have that confidence in yourself that I can do it. And this is that one extra step that I need to take, that I'll do it in the coming week. So all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, Charudat, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks Shreekanth for having us here again. It was great helping everyone. And for all the aspirants out there, I think you have JBIMS is like a dream college for every MBA aspirant. So the last 2 3 days, whatever is left, make the best out of it. If you need any help, any guidance, anytime, do reach out to any one of us. You can search us on LinkedIn or anything. And as others said, be confident. Read up about your course. Read about the recent trends in those fields, and yeah, good to go. If you come to JBIMS, I'm definitely I can say that it's going to be one of the best things in your life. So uh, with that thing, I would say that yeah, keep working hard, and hope to see you at JBIMS.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for joining in, guys. I think it's too late now, so we'll end the session. Just a thanks to everyone else as well for joining this session on a short notice for the students as well, because we had to plan it ad hoc. But just in case, if we plan to have a PI sessions or something like that, we'll have to figure that out. If we are, I will definitely update you in the group about it. So yeah, until then, all the resources I will share with you guys. So thanks a lot for joining in. All the best. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.